Rolling over pavement on two wheels is a freeing and wonderful thing, but keeping two wheels stuck to the ground in your garage is often a space-eating and terrible thing. Going vertical is a great way to reclaim valuable operating room in tight spaces, and while there are hooks and racks and all manner of things, what if you just fully suspended the bike in the unused overhead space? Today we'll look at the store your board heavy-duty bike hoist and see if it is a practical solution for getting your bike out of the way until it's ready to ride. Hey everybody, I'm Griffin and welcome to Electric Bike Report. And if you're into e-bikes, accessories, or industry news, make sure to tap the notification bell so that you stay up to date on everything. So let's get into some of the highlights of the store your board bike hoist system. And look, pulley systems have existed for thousands of years. Mechanical advantage is a beautiful thing. So with the well-established background of devices like this, there won't be a ton of pros and cons to walk you through here, but I think a lot of people know the pain of sneaking around the parked bike in a tight space. So today we're largely showcasing what all is involved in getting a bike hoist system set up, seeing how easily it operates, and covering the handful of limitations that it has. So some of the big feature overviews of the system include a 4-to-1 mechanical advantage, which means you can hoist up to 70 pounds of bike upwards towards your ceiling and gift yourself walking lanes around the car or reclaim some space around the tool bench. This is a pretty simple system to install. Just locate a stud overhead with a stud finder and everything is pre-measured, so just get it installed and then the system will work by securing around your frame, strapping around the front tire, which by extension wrangles your handlebars, and pulling it straight up into the air. It is just that easy. And at just $75 at the time of this recording, it's a pretty economical way to reclaim some space, and it comes with a lifetime warranty too, so you'll be spending that money just once. Now, just to drive this point home, if we account for some buffer zone, that's nearly 21 square feet you can get back versus just parking an adult-sized bike using a kickstand. Even if you don't need the space to walk around, you can think of it also as the storage space you've freed up beneath it if you want to shove some boxes underneath while your bike hangs out for the winter. All right, so let's take a look at some of the essentials about this system. It holds one bike and it's good for kids bikes, fat bikes, high step, and some step through frames. But style-wise, it's gonna work with beach cruisers, short tail cargo bikes. Really, whatever you're riding is fine so long as it falls under that 70-pound limit and has a top tube on it. It's nearly a guarantee to work with this system. Now, some of the advertising suggests that it'll work for step-through frames, and I think it could for some, but not all of them, as it gets a little bit more complicated with e-bikes, which I'll explain more later on. As for the dimensions of the system, the mounting bracket is 12 inches long by 3.5 wide and 2.5 high. The rope is 100 feet worth of rope. Now the max tube circumference that it can wrap around is 6 inches or about 150 millimeters-ish. And then, like I said, 70 pounds is the max. Do not exceed that. The system weight itself is just 6.6 pounds. And as far as the stud requirements go, it's pretty adjustable. Any stud spacing really works, parallel or perpendicular setups. Just wood ceiling joists though, and a max ceiling height of 14 feet is recommended. All right, so the assembly or the install is all pretty simple. Once you have located the ceiling joist by using a stud finder, just line up the main bracket, which is the part with the frame strap attached, mark your holes, drill it with a 3/16 bit, and run in the included screws and washers. Do the exact same thing for the second bracket that houses the brake pulley, as the spacing is taken care of for you. The system works whether your joists run parallel or perpendicular, so placement, again, pretty flexible here. Just pick a spot with ample room on all sides for loading up and suspending the bike in the air. Now after that, you'll mount the wall cleat to an anchor point in a stud, or you can use a drywall anchor, and you're essentially done. Just make sure that the rope runs smoothly over the pulleys and leave yourself enough slack for operation. Now the excess, of course, can just be knotted off as a simple stopper on that cleat. Now, one note from my experience, when you raise the frame strap all the way to its upper limit with no bike in there isn't much weight left in the line, so it doesn't always drop back down without a little encouragement. If you've got tall ceilings, you may need a broom handle or a hook or a similar tool to grab it on occasion. Now, if you leave it a few inches off the top, gravity typically returns it more often than not for you though. As for the overall build quality, everything feels solid for a hoist in this price range. Most of the hardware is black powder-coated steel, and the rope is a durable 100-foot nylon line, and the frame strap has rubber padding to not mar your frame. Now, because it's pre-threaded through the pulleys from the factory, there's no guesswork to getting this put together. Once you bolt the brackets in place, the system is ready to lift. As a bonus, Storyboard has a lifetime warranty on the materials, so it should last for the long haul, or if there are any complications, they'll be able to help you out if something comes up. So for getting bikes lifted up, you just get the frame strap wrapped around the top tube or down tube on some of those step-through bikes, then loop the wheel strap through the spokes and wheel of the front tire. If you've got any fenders on, stay inside of the fender arm so you don't bend those down by accident. Tighten everything down so that the front tire won't turn and you're ready for hoisting. There are rubber pads at the frame contact points, so no worries about frame damage. As I said, it's a system that just works. Now, if you've ever operated a pulley on blinds, you'll instinctively know what you need to do here to raise and lower the system. Just pull it up at an angle and then rest it into place securely, tie it some more, and you're good to go. Now, to get it down, pull down on it, the rope from an angle directly below the brake to disengage it, and it'll lower down easily. Just mind your hands for any rope burn. Now, so long as you're respecting the weight limits, it'll never be more serious than lifting the equivalent of 17.5 pounds. That's less than my 10-month-old weighs. The only real feedback I have is, again, kind of like a pair of blinds, you seem to successfully operate it like 99% of the time, but sometimes the release takes a second try for the right feel to get it to disengage. And the bike can dangle and sway a little bit. This is hardly a problem. It's not like it's going anywhere, but some people online mention cinching it all the way to the top to pin it against the ceiling. Now, I don't necessarily advise it personally. With the screens and control pads of many e-bikes, you might be bumping those up on the ceiling. Not the best idea. Now, here's the rub on why I don't recommend it for ST frames on e-bikes specifically. It might fly with some analog step-throughs though. So no top tube means that you'll need to secure it on the down tube. These are often quite bulky on e-bikes, either because A, it's housing a battery, so you'll not have enough Velcro material working with too large of a circumference, or B, even if you're using a rack or seat post mounted battery, tubing's just larger in general as they overbuild e-bike frames to handle the extra weight of motors and batteries, and because weight is less of a concern in general, so why not bulk it up a bit, right? So I tried it with half a dozen ST frames, and even if I could find one that didn't have too large a circumference on the tubing to wrap around, the motor weighs down the back so much that the hoist wants to kind of like slip and put the bike more vertical where it dangles and sways a lot more, and that is something I don't advise you try to do. Now, barring that though, this is a great product that works as intended, and it's a great way to free up walk lanes or to park other storage items beneath the bike since you can't always pile those bins or boxes on a bike. Pulley systems were used to build some of the ancient wonders of the world, and now it serves up miracles on a smaller scale. This could be about finally being able to open your car door without slipping in, or maybe it's about freeing up unstackable storage space beneath the spot where a bike is hogging square footage that could otherwise be utilized. This is a system that just works pretty easily for tons of bikes, so all in all, it feels like a good value with good guarantees built in. That's it for this review. Drop your questions or comments about the Storyboard bike hoist down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.